Hey, how's everybody doing? Come on in, come on in. I am excited about tonight's call. We about to get into it, okay? We are about to get into it and be some really, really good information. So definitely want to encourage you guys to go ahead and send out some messages. Tell your friends to jump on. Let them know we about to get into it. If you ever wanted to build a real estate empire, you are on the right line right now. Okay, ever. You definitely talking to the right girl. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff that I'm gonna talk about tonight, you just you just got to make a decision. Because I think what happens is people be like, I'm going to wait till little Johnny graduates. I'm going to wait till my best friend. My best friend and I want to do this together. I have no problem with your best friend and you doing this together. But if your best friend decides that they're going to wait another 6 months or 6 years or a year, what happens is there's too many times we're waiting for other people to give us permission to move. And I'm just making a note. Sometimes when I'm talking like this, things drop and I want to make sure I capture. Okay. But like when it comes to success, you do yourself a disservice if you're going to wait for anybody else. Honest to God. If I would have waited for my ex-husband to get up and did what he needed to do, I might have still been sitting back there waiting. And I think we spend too much time waiting for other people. We're in a society that we're like always in this wait mode. And I'm waiting on God. Like God has done everything He gonna do. So I think what you have to do is just make a decision. Hey, this is my time. Everything else will line up. I'm going to figure it out, whether my children are small, whether my children are in middle school, whether my children are grown, whether I'm single, whether I'm married, whether I'm fat, whether I'm skinny, whether I'm tall, whether I'm short, whether I feel like I'm enough or not. I'm going to align myself with the people that I need to be aligned with so that I can get myself in position to really, really start to develop and build wealth. I was in Africa last week, and it was just a more than powerful experience on so many levels. I was exposed to the best of Kenya and then the worst of the worst. And what I realized that being in America, which I think a lot of people take for granted, we are in the best possible country to become wealthier faster than you have ever become in your life. Like, in other words, things could not be more easy. Things were harder for my parents, my grandparents. They didn't have Google. They didn't have social media. They didn't have podcasts. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have a bunch of mentors or people that look like them spewing out on a video saying, you can do it, you can do it. Let me show you how. We're in a time now where your accessibility is at an all-time high. And so what happens is that unfortunately, sometimes when there's a lot of access, there's also a lot of procrastination and entitlement that it's there. So I think sometimes back then, people were seizing it because they didn't feel like they had access. They feel like they had to go through the door right then. They move with a lot more urgency. So I think that what we have to be careful of is that the generation in 2024, where we have access to podcasts, access to conferences, access to coaches, access, that we don't become dull to what we have heard and still make sure that we are seizing the opportunity. Because it's still crazy to me that the wealth gap is still as high as it is. That's a problem. It is a problem that 5% of the nation is wealthy in America. Let's just deal with America right now, okay? 5% of the nation is wealthy. But, I mean, when you start talking about people of color, we're sitting at right about 1%. What is that? So that tells me is that we all have to be and move very fervently. And I believe this with everything in me. I believe this with everything in me. That for the person that makes the decision that 2024 is going to be unequivocally, unapologetically the best year of their entire lives, that is exactly what is going to happen. But you're going to have to make the decision. You can't wait for conditions to be perfect. You can't wait for permission. And unfortunately, I talk to people all the time, that especially women, that my heart goes out for them. It's like, I got to ask permission. I literally just had it happen early today. The girl was so excited, sweetheart, just sweetheart, ready to dive into the real estate game. And she said, you know, I got to ask my husband. And I knew then, I said, well, honey, put me on the phone with him. I'll be glad to, I'll be glad to talk to him. And she just said, he said, right now is not a good time. And I was just like, dang, it's jacked up. Because when you give somebody else control to tell you what you can't do, something in you dies. I believe that. I think it is inhumane to want to do something that is empowering, that will advance you, that will help you, that will help your family. And then you have to give another human being because you don't have your own. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can get creative. You can get doggone creative. But I be doggone if I'm going to allow somebody else to tell me that I can't grow. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So, but everybody's in a different place, and I get that, and I respect that and all that. But I'm telling you right now, this is the greatest hour for you to become wealthy. This is the greatest hour for you to say, I'm going to seize every opportunity that comes before me. Because the only difference between the rich and the poor is that the rich, when you follow them, when you dissect the way that they think, they are thinking like if there is an opportunity and the deal is dealing and the numbers and the math, I'm going for it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to figure it out. And so that's what you got to do. You got to put yourself in a position. And this is what we're doing right here at the Acetified community. We're literally putting people in a position to say, listen, now you can get involved in the real estate game and really put yourself in a position to win bigger than you've ever won. Because it would be like a travesty for you to allow, because we're literally at the end of the first quarter, which is already tripping me out. We're literally at the end of the first quarter. So a good question to ask yourself right now, a good question to ask everyone right now is, what have I done so far? What have I done so far in this first quarter? Like, am I meeting my goals? Am I superseding my goals? Am I working towards my goals every day? You know what I'm saying? Am I working towards my goals every day? Am I showing up? You know, what am I doing? What have I accomplished? Who have I connected with? What relationships am I in? Am I in the right relationships? Am I in the right relationships? Am I hanging out with the people that have my answer? Am I hanging out with the people that are going to get me from point A to point B? Am I hanging out with the people that are going to help me and tell me what's 1, what's 2, what's 3, what's 4, what's 5? Because I know the only reason that I became successful in real estate when I started in 2017, hands down, unequivocally, was because I had a good mentor. Calling saying, Jewel, there's a great property right here. Jewel, take a look at this. Jewel, I think you should move here. Jewel, that was the only thing that was the thing that really, really put me on the map, was that I had that. Because had I not had that, your girl wouldn't be here. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I was scared. I didn't know. I knew how to like buy a house, move into a house. And we were blessed, my husband and I, to buy this beautiful mansion in 2007. But in terms of going out and investing, knowing how to find property, knowing how to get the money for the property, I didn't know none of that. Yes, Miracle, I'm in agreement with you. She said 2024 is going to be the best year of her doggone life. And that's really what you got. That's really the conclusion that you got to come to. You got to decide that before anything. You got to decide, what is 2024 really going to look like for me? in real life? And am I going to allow somebody to tell me no? Even if it's a spouse, and I love my man. I love my man. But when it comes to advancing, I'm not giving nobody that kind of authority. Not when God told me I was made in his image and after his likeness, and that I was supposed to rule and reign on the earth. If I do that, you know what? That ain't even Ben's fault. That's my fault. That's on me. That is on me. If my husband has been a pilot for 20 years, if he allowed me to tell him he couldn't be a pilot, you know what? That wouldn't even be my fault. That would have been on him. Because the problem is that sometimes we have looked for the second party, third party, fourth party to give us permission in stuff that we should have never, ever did. Too much authority to the wrong person can give your dreams a no. And so a lot of times when you see people getting sick, you see people depressed, you see people dealing with anxiety, you see people need to go to the doctor to take antidepressants, ain't nothing wrong with them. They just didn't move on every desire that came to their heart. They always gave themselves a no. I'd be depressed too, doggone it. You got to give yourself a yes. I mean, really, ultimately, like that's what it comes down to. We're really not waiting for anybody. We might tell ourselves, I'm waiting for my husband. I'm waiting for my daughter. I'm waiting for my son. I'm waiting. I'm going to just see. I'm going to see what they say. My best friend said they were. No, the question is, what are you going to do? You made in his image after his likeness. What are you going to do with the authority and the power that God has given you? And if you don't exercise that, guess what? That is nobody's fault but your own. And so you have to just kind of get to a point where you like, look, fooey with all this. I'm going all in. I can't account for this one. I can't account for that one. I can't call it. But what I am telling you is that I'm coming up. I'm growing. I'm putting myself in a position where I'm growing. I'm putting myself in a position to win. I'm putting myself in a position to move forward. Period. End of the story. And that's really where you got to kind of come down to, because if you don't come down to that, you will find yourself in the same exact place in May. Maybe very little change. Most people have very, very little change. And you know why they have very little change? Because they're not willing to make the decision, because there's a risk. Anytime you want to be successful, there's going to be a risk. Miracle said, I have 3 power properties in Detroit and don't know what to do with them. That's what I'm talking about, girl. But at least she was able to say, admit where you are. You got to be able to admit where you are. I can't admit where you are. I know where I need help. I still have a mentor today. I'm going to always have a mentor because I want to keep scaling. I want to keep growing. I'm not interested in just 10 properties or just 50 properties or just 100 properties. I'm interested in thousands of properties. That's me. That's my desire. So whatever your desire is, you got to say, am I willing to get a mentor? Because the people that don't have mentors usually just stay in the dream state. The people that have mentors usually are the ones that move from the dream to the action. Because what stops a lot of people is their own doggone fears. It ain't nobody else. It ain't the devil. It ain't nobody else. And then sometimes even with women, they use their spouses as an excuse, but really they know they can do what they want to do. Because when you get that pair of shoes, you didn't call him and ask him for that. You went and got them pair of shoes. So now you're talking about getting something that's an asset that's actually going to help you and your family, something that you can pull equity out of and go get another asset. And now you're going to say you need permission. Stop it. Stop with the games, baby. I love you too much to not tell you the truth, baby. Right? I want to see you win because I believe for real, what I saw in Africa was an eye opener. You talking about no middle class, that thing either rich or poor. So I'm telling you right now that it is a time for you to become a master of money. And becoming a master of money is you becoming a master of assets. And that's why I'm proud of you, Miracle, for saying, hey, I'm on here tonight because I got 3 properties, but I don't know what to do with them. I got stuff in my life I don't know what to do with, but I got a mentor that I could call and be like, bruh, You see what I'm saying? And that's what you got to do, is you got to put yourself in those kinds of positions to make sure that you put yourself in a position to win. Okay. All right. Now it's a couple things that I want to show you that after this tonight, let me tell you, for those of you that are like, listen, you know what? I'm going to have you guys meet me on a Zoom. because I want to have an intimate conversation with the people that are like, hey, I'm ready to go. You was talking that talk and I need to grow. You know what I'm saying? I need to grow hands down in the story. And really that's what it comes down to. That's really what you have to kind of end up asking yourself, like, how bad do I want it? That's what it kind of comes down to. Why I'm on this live at 8:20 at night and been up since 5:30? Because I want it bad for me, but I also want it bad for you. And I feel an obligation. I have a responsibility to help people, all people. I love everybody, but I also feel a doggone responsibility to help people that look like me. I do. And again, I love everybody. I really do. But I definitely feel a responsibility to help those that look like me. All right, now I'm going to share this at the bottom where you can put this information down, because we're going to jump on a Zoom right after this tonight. We're going to jump on a Zoom right after this tonight, and you can ask me like specific questions about everything that I'm going to go over tonight. But basically, I started at Certify last year after going into real estate in 2016 and 17 myself, and really just kind of, I had a mentor. I wasn't as engaged as I probably should have been, but even with that, I was able to build a 7-figure portfolio, just kind of halfway quasi playing around, bought a lot of properties for cash, 15,000, 10,000, 20,000. And next thing I know, I went from 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. And so, but they weren't ran really well. And I was not really willing, like I should have been, to give it the attention, because I was doing so well in crypto that I really didn't give it the attention. And it still did really well. So when the market was in my favor a couple of years ago, I sold a lot of those properties. I kept a lot of them, but I kept a few of them, but I sold most of them because the market was in my favor. So a year and a half ago, I said, you know what? I need to build the same thing that I built in digital. I need to build it in real estate, in hard assets. Because if you've been a part of Bitcoin and you see Bitcoin is going crazy right now, there's a lot of money to be made in the digital space. I love it. But it also has a lot of fluctuations. And real estate as a hard asset, I still would say is my favorite asset. I do think you should own Bitcoin as a digital asset, hands down. End of the story. The jump has been real. It's hit over 70,000. It's headed to 100,000. And I even think to 7 figures eventually. I think eventually we will see $1 million Bitcoin. But even with that being said, you need to have a portfolio that has Bitcoin in it, and I believe real estate. And so that's what we're doing right now, where I'm training people one-on-one, walking them through the process and showing them exactly how to get into the game, how to buy, how to find off-market properties, how to do deal evaluations, how to know if a deal is a good deal or not. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. Hey, Miracle, do you see I put at the bottom of the screen down the place? You ain't placed it in the comments. Can you see it at the bottom of the screen? Ready to get started? Because we're going to do a Zoom right after this. And I would love to have you on that. And hopefully you can see. I don't see, something is wrong tonight because Benicia says she's in. I don't see you. Okay, she's trying to get on. I wonder, am I on the right line? Let me see. I am. Somebody is telling me. Can y'all hear me and see me okay? I know Miracle can. Can anybody else hear me and see me okay? Can y'all hear me and see me okay? I think you can. Yes, Tony. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Bet, bruh. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, cool. All right, let me send her this. Okay, let's see. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Sharita. Okay, cool. All right, I want to make sure somebody's texting like, I don't see you. I'm like, what are you talking about? You on the wrong link. Am I on the wrong link? You on the link? I don't know. But anyway, so what we've done with the Certify is pretty dope. We've been able to help and coach a lot of students get from, having no real estate experience to now becoming very good investors, and starting off with one property and then moving over to a second property and a third property. And that I am very, very proud of, because when you start building a real estate empire, you really do put yourself in a position to really be able to make a significant amount of money. All right, so now I am going to let me see here. Master class. Let me see. All right, no, that's not what I want to show y'all. That is not what I had in mind. Let me go to what I had in mind. All right, cool. You know what? Is this gonna act right? I may or may not be able to show you these slides. I do want to show you some stuff. What I may do is I'll probably show you some of this stuff when we get on the Zoom. So take that Zoom information down for me, if you will, please. The other thing I want to say really quickly is, it is extremely important that I think we move with a tremendous sense of urgency right now too, with the upcoming election. To me, I don't put that much stock in politics, in that if you want to be wealthy, you can be wealthy, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. But I will say that I believe that everything, there's a window. Like, we've been blessed. We have banks right now that can get you pre-approved right away. I've got a funding company. We've got multiple venues to get you money. And that's what really stops a lot of people from investing, is they just don't have the money, Sonia. They're like, I don't have the money, or I don't have the credit. We have a credit strategist that I'm keeping extremely busy these days. He's very, very busy these days because I have a lot of people that are coming in who had good credit, but they just needed to get all the hard inquiries off. You know what I'm saying? They just had too many hard inquiries. So we're at a point now where we can get all your hard inquiries off. We can get that score up. I've got somebody who went from 580 to 650. Now she just hit like 701. 701 is a sweet spot because we can get you funded in terms of like your down payment and your closing costs. I can get you funded with 620 with the banks give you 80%. But if you want to do 100% financing, we need to really have you at 700. If you're not at 700, that's okay, because what we can do is plug you into our credit specialist and get you on a game plan to get you going. I was talking to somebody earlier, and she had a bankruptcy on there, and so her score is like 580. And she's like, well, I really want to move now. I said, well, you can still move now. We can do some other creative stuff, seller financing, or seller financing or partnering. I said, but you need to address this bankruptcy. We need to get this bankruptcy off of your credit report because it's not going anywhere. So I put her on the phone with our credit specialist, and now they're working to get her credit together. So what am I saying? It really doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at 580, if you're at 700, you're ready to move. Period. Well, I can have you in a house within 5 days, right? We'll do a deal evaluation, make sure you're good with the house, but we can do 100% financing easy with 700 or above. If you are under 700, I would put you in touch with our credit specialist to get you going. Okay. This is so weird. She's saying she doesn't see me. Only the host can see you. The host may add you in the stage. Okay, let me see. Benicia is trying to get on here from the bank and doing something really weird. Let me see if I can get her on here real quick, you guys. Bam, bam. Okay, I just resent it to her. All right, cool. Let's see if that works for her. I wanted her to get on here and just share a little bit of tea with you guys as well. Okay, cool. And then again, we'll be jumping on the Zoom right after this. For those of you like, listen, I really want to get all the way into this, like all the way for real, for real. So make sure you take that information down. Does anybody have any questions so far? And of course, telling her just resent link, check email. But if you can't already tell, I love this stuff. Woo, baby. Seeing y'all do the deals be dealing. Tell you something, your girl walking in her calling, baby. I was anointed to do deals, okay? Called before the foundations of the world to do deals for you, for you, for you, and for me, okay? So all of us together, because you'll look up and in a short amount of time, you have a really nice portfolio. It'll be like, man, what if I would have never got started? Man, what if I would have let somebody tell me no? Man, what if I would have talked myself down and not up? Man, that's the part. And that's the part that I don't want to see happen to you, because going into 2025, I think for some of you, if you haven't hit certain milestone goals, you should be feeling away. Absolutely, positively, hands down. And so right after this live tonight, we're going to jump on a Zoom so you guys we can kind of get into some more intimate conversation about what we can do to get you going. But like I said, whether your, credit score is, whatever, doesn't matter what it is, we can get you going. And we have great banks too. Right now, I'm very, very proud of all of the lending institutions that we're now in relationships with, because again, that's where most people are stopped. And that's the part that I'm really excited about. Hey, beautiful. Okay, girl. So I know you on the move. I think she's trying to get to an area where she can talk a little bit. Okay, you try to unmute yourself. Start. Okay, yep, I can hear you now. How are you, gorgeous?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually in a new commercial building that just purchased, just closed today.
You just bought that building?
Yes, 1.6, 1.7.
Wait, say it again for the people in the back.
Yes, 1.7, Arlington, Texas. Yes.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, your bank. So you did this. Was this for the bank?
No, this is separate. This is an investment.
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I love. Everybody in the community that we bring to you guys, like, we doing this for real. Like, this is not like something we just talking about. Like, we live in this thing, like, for real, for real, for real. Okay, tell me the plans real quick, if you don't mind, with this investment opportunity, because I want them to learn from this. And then, of course, we can talk about what your bank does in a minute. But what made you decide to buy this commercial building? What made you have your eyes on this?
It's walking distance to the Cowboy Stadium. So Dallas Cowboys, literally you make a right out of the parking lot and the corner is right there and you can see the stadium. So I'll take a picture of it when it's daytime. It's nighttime now. But essentially already have a tenant that's going to come in place. So someone wants to rent the whole thing. There's already a tenant on one side. There's 3 sections and the other tenant's going to take $8,500. Market rate is about $23 a square foot. I'll probably end up charging about $24 a square foot. They're going to come long term. So it's going to be a good, profitable venture.
So you already worked out, had the tenant in place. So did you have the tenant in place before you even bought the building?
God is so good. They called today. Closing table. Phone call comes in. I want to rent the rest of the space. I was planning on putting my office here.
What? Okay, so you must have had the word out a little bit in order for them to know, I'd imagine.
The owner had the building for rent and for sale at the same time. So when the contract came in for sale, there were people who were interested for rent. So now they're essentially tenants.
Yeah. Oh, that's bossy. This is the thing that I love, Benicia, about the wonderful world of investing. Once you get in the flow, it's going to be like deal after deal after opportunity after opportunity. Girl, that is crazy. Okay, so talk to these precious people right now tonight that might be a little bit scared to start investing in real estate. Why is it so pivotal? And obviously, Benicia's bank can fund you. But I just want you to talk for a minute. Why is it so pivotal for people of color to move right now with fervency and aggression and give themselves permission to succeed? Why is it important right now?
So essentially what I do is I help people understand the financial importance, financial intelligence, financial literacy when it comes to real estate specifically. I do own a federally chartered bank. And so it's non-depository. So that means that people cannot come in and make deposits like checking and savings. I want next level stuff. Even though that's coming, I want to be able to empower people through real estate because I think that that's something that people can touch and receive right now today versus just putting their money in the bank account. That's going to come. That's great and everything to have a black owned bank, but I think that I will be more, I can leverage myself and help more people if I empower them through real estate. So what I do is I finance commercial and residential real estate up to $650 million. I finance
Mm.
in every single state in the United States. So for those who are just starting, you can definitely take advantage of opportunities. If you are seasoned, you can definitely take advantage of opportunities up to $650 million. And that's on
Mm.
commercial and residential. So even your primary residence, some people don't have the capital to invest. So they're right now taking money out of the equity because we just experienced one of the highest economic booms in real estate. So a lot of people who own properties from 2020 on and beyond, they now have equity. So if you're sitting on capital, utilize it. If you're not going to sell your house in the next couple of years, you're sitting on the golden egg. You have the ticket. Do an equity pull some of your equity out of your property and buy some of these properties in Detroit, 10, 15, $20,000. Fix it up a little bit. Now you're selling it for 130, 140. You make a profit, you take that profit and you go flip it and make more money. So just teaching people the game. I don't really teach, but what I do is I'm the leverage, I'm the bridge to financial, basically generational wealth.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is amazing, and I think what we're doing is huge. And so, your bank, because your credit just needs to be what in order to get approved with your bank.
Yep. So starting out, if you're doing your primary residence, 580. Okay, that's going to be the
580
bare
for
minimum.
primary. Okay.
580. But if you're doing an investment property, it's going to be between 620 to 660. And so that will be the DSCR loans. A lot of people talk about that, where you use the tenant's income that's generating from that residential property or that multifamily property. You can use that as income towards your purchase. So essentially, you can be a disabled person, you can be a retired person, and be able to purchase real estate at a high capacity because you know that the tenants are going to pay rent. You can use that as income. We also do loans for commercial buildings, finance multifamilies up to 5,000 to 6,000 units, whatever the case may be. If you want to open a bed and breakfast, maybe you want to do an Airbnb. Maybe you want to put your business in a commercial building. Maybe you want to fix and flip and just get them, purchase the property, fix it up really quick, and then put it back on the market within the short term. All those type of loans I offer in-house, and it's 100% Black-owned company.
Wow, 100%. That is absolutely amazing. Listen, sis, congratulations. I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of you. Did you put this on social yet, child?
I didn't, but let me show you a little bit.
Yeah, show us, honey.
I'm in a little room, but I have a bunch of people here. But I'll try to show you just a little bit. This side needs carpet. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that is beautiful. Look at this, though. This is what happens when you make a decision. Oh, that's the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I love
The
it.
hallway. It's huge.
Woo! How many square feet is that, child?
It's about 13,000.
Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo.
So here's one of the conference rooms.
I love it.
So, and the carpet will be installed soon. This side didn't have carpet, the other side did, but yeah, girl.
This is okay. So this is okay. This is why being an investor is so cool and why you got to be so flexible. The guy, the owner, the seller had it up for rent and for sale.
Yeah.
You were planning on using it as an office, and then were you going to rent out a little bit of space, maybe too, as well?
Yep.
So you were going to take some space yourself. You're going to rent it out yourself. But then, because he had it up for rent, somebody called today and said they want to rent the entire space.
Yep. Instant income.
Instant income.
Instant.
Over and beyond your mortgage.
Way more.
Woo! It's the way more for me. Oh my God. But that is the beauty. But that's the beauty of being an investor.
Yep.
That's it. Because you were in the flow. You took the risk because it was a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a risk.
Yep.
Everything is a risk. But you took the risk and now you're out on the other side. And now you have tenants moving in. And I think it's absolutely amazing. I'm so glad you were able to jump on here and show them real life, real time. This is why I love, and this is why you love being an investor. This is why I love being an investor, because it puts you in a position to make more money than you've ever made in your entire life. All right, so keep celebrating. I can't wait to come to Houston to play in, or at least come see it. I don't got tennis in there, but we got to pull up on it, okay?
Okay, love you, girl.
Okay, love you too, girl. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's what happens when you come into the world of investing. When I tell you, it will probably be one of the most exciting, fun things that you could ever do. Hands down, into the story. Hands down, into the story. So listen, I want you guys, you see that information at the bottom? 7figureinvestor.com. Meet me on there. I'm getting ready to go over there right now. Okay. And I'm going to be there for a few minutes answering your questions. Some of you are ready to get started. Some of you might have a few questions. But when I tell you, we off to the races. Me and all my wealth friends in this certified community, we are ready to embrace you. We're ready to hold your hand. We're ready to get you approved. We're ready to get your credit checked. We're ready to help you find an off-market property. We're ready to do all of that for $5K. And I have a company that will help fund you for the $5K, so you don't even have to use your money for that. You're going to learn how to use good debt the right way. So listen, love you guys. Meet me right now. For those of you that are interested and ready to go to the next level, meet me on 7figureinvestor.com. Have a great night, and you got this. You can do it. Bye-bye.